Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is Andy. I still haven't come up with a good name for this podcast, but I will eventually. Welcome back to TNA's WWE, my YouTube channel, where I discuss things wrestling. Now, this is Monday, the 24th, day after Battleground 2017. And, before the pay-per-view, I was very excited to talk about this. Now it is after the pay-per-view, and I'm upset that I just started doing this podcast. Maybe no one's going to watch it, I don't know, or listen, rather. And I already have to give such a negative review to a pay-per-view. I don't want people to think that I'm a negative person, because I go into every pay-per-view being, wanting to be entertained. And, I don't have that high of a standard to be entertained. It just has to be either good wrestling or logical or funny or just, any type of segment that could somehow attract me. And this pay-per-view didn't do that at all, aside from one, maybe two matches. So, I'm going to review this pay-per-view. So, just, while I do this, just remember that I went into this pay-per-view wanting to be entertained. And, before I really go into this, let me just say that SmackDown, ever since really Money in the Bank, SmackDown has been floundering. Okay? Usually SmackDown is, way above Raw as far as wrestling goes and logical segments. But lately, in between the time from Money in the Bank to Battleground, SmackDown has been floundering. And, the tag match with Nakamura, it was AJ and Nakamura versus Owens and Corbin. It's just I forgot that this was a go-home show, last Tuesday. And it's just you're supposed to have the pay-per-view be the blow-off point. And there's just no way that anyone would actually pay $60 for this pay-per-view, because it's just rolling with the motions for SummerSlam. It's rolling. It's they're just rolling along, getting what they need to get done, but not actually having any big moments. There were some spots to this pay-per-view. There were some high spots. But for the most part, man, this pay-per-view just felt like another episode of SmackDown with some stips. And I'm sorry, but, with what's been going on with New Japan Pro Wrestling as of late, how they've been, totally exceeding their expectation, the fact that, they came to, I forgot what city, but they came to California. They are going to start attracting a lot more American fans. And if they can get American TV, I could see them, doing way better than TNA ever did as far as competing against the WWE. So at this point, WWE can't be having average pay-per-views. They need to be, and with the talent, with the roster that they have, there's no excuse for there to be any average pay-per-views. When you have, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton all on the same pay-per-view, and the fact that the pay-per-view was this bad, it's just holy shit. And the fact that the last match had a screwy finish, and they still booked so much of this pay-per-view to have screwy finishes, it's just they think that we don't care, but we do care. And I know a lot of people online feel the same way. And, let me just start actually reviewing this pay-per-view. It's already been about, 4.5 minutes, and I still haven't actually talked about any of the matches. So, the pre-show was actually pretty good. It was, Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger. And, man, these guys really deserve, more. The feud should be on SmackDown, man. It's not. Maybe there needs to be, a pre-show for SmackDown, the first half hour be on the network, and just give 2 matches before SmackDown, because SmackDown's only 2 hours, man, and there's a lot more talent. People keep saying that SmackDown needs talent, But I feel the total opposite, man. I think that they have too much talent, and because of that, Luke Harper doesn't get on TV. Eric Rowan hasn't been on TV. Ty Dillinger and Aiden English are barely on TV. So they need to do something about that because these guys are really good. And let me just say, man, Aiden English, at first I hated the gimmick, but now I see the genius behind the gimmick. And, you know, it's funny, man. Having someone, like, singing in the ring like that is just, like, it's like the ultimate heat-seeking gimmick. It's amazing. I really like it. I want to see more of Aiden English on TV. You know, we all love Ty Dillinger. And, you know, English ended up getting the win. It was a good match. You know, there weren't really any high spots, but English won with a move that could be a finisher. I don't know if it is, but it was a good match. These guys, I know that they fought in a couple other pre-shows, so you know they have the ability to have good matches against each other, and you know they should have a match on SmackDown because they deserve it. You know. And even if they break off and feud with other people, you know, I really like both of these guys, and I think they deserve a lot more than what they're getting. So, the first match of the actual pay-per-view, in my eyes, was the best match of the night by far. By far. It was the Usos versus the New Day. And they have great chemistry. You know, they really, really have great in-ring chemistry together, and it's awesome. You know, You know, the Usos are probably going to get a rematch, and I hope it's at SummerSlam because I want to see these guys have more matches. And, you know, at first, you know, people probably didn't feel that we would want to see a lot of matches between them, but they've been having a lot of really great matches. The Usos, as heels, have, you know, totally exceeded my expectation of what they could do. The New Day is just, you know, they've been on top of the tag team game for a while. And right now, you know, these two teams, because of this feud, seem like bigger stars, especially the Usos. So, the end of the match had a really cool spot where I think it was Jey Uso was at one of the corners of the ring, you know, against the post, and Kofi Kingston gave him a Trouble in Paradise. Or no, it was actually Kofi was at the corner, and then Xavier Woods was on the top rope. Kofi gave Jey a Trouble in Paradise, and then Xavier hit this elbow drop, and he went across the whole ring, just like Shane McMahon used to do. And like, it was really cool. Xavier Woods is getting a lot better in the ring, and I really like that it was Kofi and Xavier. It was the first time that I think Big E wasn't in one of their title matches, it was definitely the first time he wasn't in a title win of the New Day. So, you know, I like that they're mixing it up. I think that they're definitely going to use the Freebird rule with the New Day. And I think that's cool. I love the New Day, man. I like both of these teams a lot. So, yeah, that was a good match. It was the best match of the night. And, you know, from this point on, the pay-per-view goes downhill. So, next was Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. And the thing is, man, these guys just don't have chemistry together. The Usos and the New Day have great in-ring chemistry. These guys do not. And it's just, it's mind-boggling to me that they have such a huge star on their hands. And they're not, like, when Finn Balor first came in, you know, they confirmed that he was a huge star by giving him the title right away. Nakamura is just as big as a star, if not bigger than Finn Balor. And he's having matches that are boring as shit, where he's getting, you know, I'm sorry, but watching Baron Corbin just that slow, methodical beating people down, it's not entertaining. It's not. I did not enjoy that match at all. And it's just, you know, it was a screwy finish. It was absolutely ridiculous. You know, Shinsuke really should have gotten the Finn Balor treatment and go to the WWE title picture right when he got moved to the main roster. You know, it's understood that they don't want to blow their load so quickly with Shinsuke. But, you know, he should have better opponents. And that's no offense to Dolph or Baron. You know, because they're both really good. but it's just he needs to be treated as a star, and whatever they need to do that, they need to do it. You know, they have all this great future talent, and they're not using it the right way. So, yeah, it was a really bad finish. Fucking Baron kicked Shinsuke in the dick, and it's DQ, meaning they'll most likely have a match again, which I don't want to see. Corbin then hit him with the briefcase, and the days. Corbin walks out strong. And yeah, like, Shinsuke should have won in like 7 matches or less against this guy to establish him as a star. Because I really don't see Baron as a star. You know, Shinsuke is it's clear that Shinsuke, in between this feud, Shinsuke is the more popular star. So, yeah. You know, I'm sorry that I'm complaining so much, but it's the truth, man. It really is the truth. So, next was the women's match. I didn't really have that much to say about it. Tamina and Lana look pretty good together as a unit. You know, not much to say about that because, to be honest, I don't think I like Lana in the ring, and I don't know for sure, but I think I don't like her in the ring, because she doesn't look like a natural fighter. You know, the only person that looks like a natural fighter to me in this whole match is Tamina. But you know, Becky actually looked really strong in this match. You know, I'm actually really a big fan of Becky. But yeah, she looked strong because she ended up eliminating Lana and Tamina. I'm pretty sure she made both of them tap out. And then Charlotte and Natalya ended up being the final two. Natalya ended up winning by smashing Charlotte's face like into the turnbuckle. And, you know, I'm not against that finish. That was actually one of the finishes that I really didn't mind. You know, Naomi versus Natty should be good. And, you know, it could lead to Charlotte or Becky taking the belt off of Natalya in the future if she ends up taking it off Naomi, which I would like to see. So, yeah, I didn't really have a problem with that. I actually predicted that Natalya would win. I didn't do predictions video, but I predicted, you know, to myself that that Natalya would end up winning that. So, yeah. Next match was AJ versus Kevin Owens. And, you know, it's just that finish was so weird. And I feel like they just did that because they're trying to emphasize, oh, we could have surprise finishes at any time. Look what happened at MSG, and then look what happens here. And it's just so stupid. But, you know, let me just say that I love both of these guys, like, a lot. Like, they're two of my favorite wrestlers. Probably, like they're my 3 favorite on SmackDown are these two and Shinsuke. So, you know, I really like Owens. And Owens has a lot of heat with the crowd. You know, and it's because also he's fighting the most loved superstar on SmackDown and possibly the most loved guy in the WWE. So, and it's also because he's really good at what he does. Like, Owens is just, he's the king shit talker. He talks so much shit in the ring, and it's awesome how much he just talks in the ring, down on his opponent, down on the fans. It's really good. And AJ and Kevin do have good chemistry together. It's just like, this match feels again like they're going through the motions to get to SummerSlam. But these could be like these really huge matches with these like glorifying finishes. And then like when you look back, like you could also look back on the road to SummerSlam. Like if you really want, so what is AJ supposed to win the title back at SummerSlam? Like, what does this do? I don't get it. I really don't get it. But you know, Owens is really good. And the good thing, and like what I also really like about Owens is like he makes his matches feel like a shoot by doing all that yelling during the match, because that's what, you know, during fights, a real fight, like that could happen, and it makes you feel like his emotions are real, and I'm really for that. So I think Owens is honestly like the best heel in the business. He's the best shit talker in the business, and AJ is honestly the modern AJ. AJ is the modern HBK, and a lot of people would agree with that. I mean, it's my opinion at the end of the day. I'm only speaking opinions, but like a lot of people would agree with that. I've heard other people say it, and I agree with it 100% because he makes everything he does just look so easy, and I love that about him. So I think that AJ could be the guy to have a 6-star match, if it's just with the right opponent. So, the match was really good. There was a good spot where Owens put his knees up for AJ's 450 springboard jump, and I really like that spot. I think it's just cool that AJ could do that at his size because, excuse me, he is a big guy. And, to be able to move like that, man, it's unbelievable. And he makes it look like it's just so easy. So, yeah, basically what happened at the end of the match was, like, AJ turned a pop-up powerbomb into a calf crusher, and then Owens turned it into, like, what looked like a yes lock to me. Then AJ, like, gets Owens into a crossface, and, like, Owens, like, somehow got up and just, like, pinned AJ while AJ had the crossface locked in. And it was a really slow count, and it was just weird. I don't know, man. Like, I just think that this is a weird way to end a match. And I think, like someone got pinned while they had the submission on the other guy. Because, they had no ring awareness? Like, is AJ supposed to not have ring awareness? Because, like, AJ is one of the best in the business, and everyone knows that. Like, we know that he wouldn't actually make a mistake like that. Therefore, this is not a believable finish. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but they could be having these awesome matches. Like, it was a really good match, but it's just, you ruin the whole thing by having a fucking shitty finish at the end. So, I don't know, man. I was really disappointed by that. And I think a lot of other people probably were, too. So, Owens ended up winning his third United States title, just like New Day won their third tag team titles. So, yeah, that was that. The next match was Rusev versus John Cena for the flag. It was for America. So, yeah. Rusev, honestly, is he's more of like a compelling character as opposed to like a really good wrestler in my opinion. Like I don't know, I just don't think his matches are that exciting. And it's also because it's with John Cena, and I'm not saying John Cena's bad. I'm actually a fan of John Cena now, but like I don't know, like you would think these guys would have good chemistry together considering like how long they've been fucking having matches against each other. But to me, this just didn't feel like a great match. They've had multiple matches against each other, and it was weird. I don't know. But Rusev was Rusev? No, I think Cena was actually the first to, yeah, Rusev was the first to take the flag out of the pole, and then Cena ended up hitting the AA. Like, on Rusev, like, shortly after Rusev ended up getting the flag out of the pole. So then Rusev ended up tapping out to an STF right after he ended up getting an AA. But, the tap out means nothing because it's a flag match. And the only way to win the flag match is to take the flag, walk it up the ramp, place it in the pole. So Cena then gets his flag out, and Rusev kicks him right in the fucking face afterwards. Cena starts to walk up the ramp with the flag, but Rusev assaults him and smashes his face into the stairs, then picks up the stairs and hits him with them. Rusev then knocks Cena down near the Titantron and sets up these two tables next to the Titantron, like near the stairs, with the United States flagpole. So once that happened, we really knew, like, I don't know, I knew what was going to happen. So, they ended up fighting on the ramp a lot. It just wasn't that exciting. I thought this was a boring match. And, but it had a decent finish where Cena ended up, I think Rusev was like about to put his flag in the pole, but Cena ends up getting him an AA edition, walks from the Bulgaria stairs over to the American stairs on the top of the ramp, and then he ends up giving Rusev the AA through the two tables. It was predictable, but it was good. It was a good finish. You can't be mad about something like that. We got to see tables. At least it's not a screwy finish. There's no interference, but Cena wins clean, obviously, duh. And that's that. I think everyone predicted that Cena would win this because it's just obvious. So yeah, after that, and I forgot this match was honestly gonna happen. It was Sammy versus Mike Kanellis with Maria, who is extremely attractive. And, just like AJ, Sammy makes everything he does look really easy, and I think he's really, really good. So, there was a good spot where Sammy jumped out of the ring, like, he did, like, a suicide dive or something like that. I think it was actually, like, a backflip, but it was really good. And he also did this nice crossbody. But, Maria ends up getting in the ring to distract Sammy. And I thought this was going to lead to Mike end up winning the match, but, Sammy ends up giving a haluva kick onto Kanellis for the win. So Kanellis ends up losing his first pay-per-view match. So I guess that means that he's not going to be that huge of a star, because every other, recently all the guys from NXT that end up being, big stars, they win their first pay-per-view match. So, just look at Shinsuke. He beat Dolph, and that was his first pay-per-view match, and Finn too, and everyone else. Like, you're supposed to, you don't just start losing your big matches right away if they have big plans for you. So this guy's going to be a mid-carder for a while, and it's weird because SmackDown doesn't really have a mid-card. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really care about that match, to be honest. I didn't think it was that great, but I really like Sammy, and I want bigger things for Sami Zayn. I want him in some title picture. But yeah, and then we had the main event, which was the Punjabi Prison match, and this match fucking sucked. It was just so boring. So boring. So, there was one good spot. I mean, I give Randy Orton credit because he took a fucking beating during this match. So, I give him credit for that, but, that doesn't change the fact that this was a boring match. It was a horrible story. The Punjabi... I hope that this is the last Punjabi Prison match I ever have to see. I never want to see this stip again. I hope this is the last time WWE uses the Punjabi Prison match. There's no need for it. It is a horrible stipulation with god-awful rules. And I was surprised that the camera angles were as good as they were. I guess there was a camera man in between the second and the first cage, so it made it a little bit more bearable to watch. But it was just such a boring match. So boring. So, the one good spot was Samir. He was climbing on top of the prison. I think he actually, went through one of the holes to get out, to the outside of the prison. And he was, climbing on top, trying to stop Orton from continuing to climb. And he ends up taking this incredible, the bumps that the Singh brothers have taken. You got to give them some respect. So he ends up falling off the prison into one of the tables. And yeah, shout out to Samir Singh for taking that bump. That was the most exciting part of this match. And yeah, the Great Khali came back. So what? I don't think anyone really cares at all that the Great Khali is back. And it was just a really shitty ending to an already really bad pay-per-view. The move that it was like a chokehold where he was grabbing Orton's neck. I gotta say that did look like it hurt, But it's just who cares about the Great Khali? Who cares? It's just so like I don't know what to say, man. Like this was a really bad pay per view, and I would have much rather have seen, even if it was just the Singh brothers, that have not happened. I would have rather Jinder just won normally because at least then he comes out looking somewhat strong. He needed not only both of his managers but the Great Khali in order to win this. So how does that make Jinder look? Like what? Are they just trying to prove that like when Cena takes the belt off of Jinder that Orton isn't that much worse than Cena because hey there was 3 other people. Like whatever, man. Like I'm sorry that this is such a negative pay-per-view review, but I have a feeling that a lot of these pay-per-view reviews online are gonna be shitty. So yeah, I mean, what else can you say, man? This was a really bad event. So it's just who would pay $60? Who would pay actual pay-per-view price? It's like they know that since people aren't paying the big prices that they used to, they do not need to put in as much effort. There don't need to be fireworks. It doesn't need to be as much of an attraction. And it's just a shame, man. Like I miss the old pay-per-views where every single pay-per-view was a blow-off to something. And this pay-per-view didn't finish anything. There was supposed to be a finish to the who's gonna be the people that attacked the fashion police, and that didn't finish. I have a feeling that it's probably gonna be Harper and Rowan, either them or the club. But this pay-per-view sucked, man. So I hope I'm gonna do another pay-per-view review for SummerSlam. I'll hopefully be able to do the review before it actually happens. I'm not gonna, because I was gonna do a review for this pay-per-view, but then I realized like it was already Friday, so that would be kind of pointless. But my next video, honestly, will probably be a SummerSlam predictions, so watch out for that. So I guess that's it. I'm sorry that we all had to witness such a horrible event, but hopefully SummerSlam will make up for it. That is it, everybody. I am Andy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out.